G'day there guys, my name's Marky, and welcome back to some more stories from Reddit. Let's get right into it. Am I the arsehole here for saying no to my girlfriend's tradition? I, male 30, lost my younger brother when I was 22. He had cancer and fought it very hard. Ever since, I've been donating blood on the anniversary of his death every year. I take the day off from work, visit his grave, donate blood, and then come home, relax, and watch his favorite movie. I know it's a simple, personal tradition, but it means a lot to me. My girlfriend of 9 months, Anna, female 31, asked if I could meet her and her mum. I have met her many times before, and it wasn't the meet the parents for the first time situation for lunch yesterday. I told her no, and explained again about what I do on my brother's death anniversary. She got upset and said, well, it's my tradition to have lunch with my mum every time she's in town, and she really wanted to see you. You can do your stupid blood donation tradition any day. I explained to her that it's not just about the blood donation. Later in the evening, while I was resting and watching my brother's favorite movie, she texted me again, asking me to join them. I reiterated that I really didn't want to and would hang out with her mum next time. She replied that I had embarrassed her in front of her mum with my selfishness and laziness. Since then, she's been distant. Do I owe her an apology? Am I the arsehole here? In the comments, Sad Flatworm says, stupid blood donation tradition? After that comment, I hope she's soon your ex-girlfriend. That is unbelievably upsetting. You haven't asked her to join you just to leave you in peace to honor your brother. Not the arsehole, and I'm sorry for your loss. I'm shocked she didn't offer to go with him. That would have been my first instinct, and then I would have asked why he loved that film. Same here. Any excuse to have a blood donation buddy. My favorite ex and I gave blood together on our second date. We got to hold hands the whole time and eat free snacks. It was super cute. You owe her a breakup on the same day. This way, she'll remember her narcissistic, stupid lunch tradition day. She owes you an apology for being disrespectful of your loss and how you honor your brother. Not the arsehole. She called you stupid. She sounds self-absorbed. She is not a keeper. Definitely not worth apologizing to, and only worth breaking up with. 9 months, not worth your time. Agreed. We seem to have a lot of people being dicks over how people celebrate the life of the ones they love to have passed away. Yikes. So her random lunch with her mother was more important than the anniversary of your brother's death? 100% not the arsehole. Your girlfriend seems to lack basic compassion and empathy. Good luck with that. She seems lovely. Sarcasm. His brother has given him a last gift in exposing his girlfriend at this early stage. OP, break up with her and be glad that you didn't waste more time on such a selfish and cruel person. Question. Did Anna know about this tradition before her mother came to visit? I'm thinking the answer is yes because you said explained again, but I wanted to verify this. OP replies, yes, I have mentioned it many times before. I think she forgot about the date, so I re-explained that I can't join them for that day for that reason. Not the arsehole. She doesn't respect your tradition, which is 1 day a year. Her mom will probably come to town more than 1 time in a year. Your girlfriend is selfish and entitled. OP says, yes, she is retired and lives 3 hours away. She comes here often. Your tradition outweighs getting dinner with a visiting relative or in-law. I'm sorry for your loss. I hope you had a good day of remembering him. If I could, what's his favorite movie? And OP says, there are 2 actually, lol. The very first Despicable Me movie and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Have you watched the new one? I see all the movies my dad would have loved to see from the franchises he loved. And OP says, not yet. I'm planning to watch it with my dad, as my mum died when we were kids and my dad raised us alone, on my brother's birthday. Plan B is having him over for a movie night on my brother's birthday if the movie will no longer be in theaters in December. I think you would need to think very carefully about this girlfriend. Losing someone you love is very hard, and she is very careless with your feelings. I'm sorry for your loss. I lost my brother when he was 12 and I was 15. I still miss him. And OP says, my condolences. I miss him a lot. There are certain video games I can't even look at or play anymore because it was our special thing. A downvoted comment says, I see plenty of room for doing lunch with your girlfriend and her mom and still commemorating your brother's death in the same day. It would have been easy to fit lunch between visiting a grave, drawing blood, and seeing a movie. You also missed a chance to invite your girlfriend to partake in your ritual, and instead seem to have just used it as an excuse to not go out with them. You're going to lose a lot more people in life before it's through. I understand that death is hard, but it's been nearly a decade. Sometimes clinging to those ancient memories only holds us back. OP says, she had never met him. He passed long before our current relationship. She never showed any interest to join, and I wasn't expecting her to join. I mean, if she wanted to, she would be more than welcome to join. I didn't exclude her. My brother's not some ancient memory. We were very close, and we only had each other growing up as my dad was working a lot. His memory isn't holding me back in any ways. Yeah, I think you managed to catch a fish that has absolutely no compassion, OP. I think you need to put that fish back in the ocean where it belongs. There's plenty of other ones out there. You'll be just fine, buddy. You don't have to hold on to this one just because you've had it for 9 months. I think this may be a catfish that has poisonous barbs that are slowly killing you. It's interesting that some partners will just see you having a very deep and emotionally, taxing experience, but something that you feel as though you need to go through as a tradition, and then be like, nah, actually you're an asshole for that, and my needs are more important than yours. I can also see certain things being like, yes, holding on to the past and someone that is dead can hold you back. We've had many examples of that on these stories. But this genuinely isn't one of those situations. You're not a girlfriend that is dating someone new and is like, actually, my dead husband would have done better than you. Let's go to my dead boyfriend's house and let him shit-talk you to your face about how you got soft hands, boy. You'll never have rough hands like my dead son. Get out of here with them pussy-ass hands, boy. That's not happening here. It's a private, healthy coping mechanism and a good way to honor the life of your brother. For her not to recognize that shows that she's pretty soulless as a person, I'm just gonna say that. Not the arsehole, OP. And now, onto the update. OP comments 1 hour after posting. I texted Anna that we needed to talk after reading the comments. I'm going to end it. I don't have her mum's number, unfortunately. OP 3 hours later when asked for an update. Sure, so far no reply. OP responds to a downvoted commenter, I'm not apologizing. I sent her a text to meet so that I can end it. Expecting to have 1 day out of a year is not too much to ask for. And now onto the proper update. I texted her that we needed to talk. She never replied, just blocked me from everywhere. Social media, WhatsApp, etc. Her best friend who was following me on Instagram blocked me too. I'm not sad, I wanted to end it anyways. Thank you for your support, everyone. I really appreciate your kind comments. Some users suggested that my brother/remembrance tradition saved me from getting serious with her and having a lifetime of misery, and it made me smile. Thank you again. In the comments, Melodic Elderberry says, a 31-year-old ghosting her partner because he didn't want to skip a day of mourning his deceased brother for a standard lunch with his girlfriend's mum. Some people really, truly do not mature past 16. 100%, she blocked him because he didn't call begging forgiveness. He dodged a bullet. That, or because she inferred from his message that he was going to dump her, so she blocked him first. Truly pathetic behavior from her part, but what can you do? Better that this happened as fast as it did without any stupid, unnecessary confrontation, I guess. Like, do you really want her yelling in your face and saying, oh, it's good that your brother's dead. You're a piece of shit anyway. You deserve to be alone, OP. Like, no one wants to hear that. She's already shown how immature and brainless she is, so I think blocking and moving on instantly was really for the best. Do you need to get, closure from this incident? Really? I don't think so. Our next post is by user Formal Rose, titled, My postpartum wife broke my handmade glass sculpture a year ago. Am I the asshole here for still holding resentment about it? My wife and I have been married for 3 years, and we had our first baby last year. My wife did go through a lot of hormonal emotions postpartum, and she had a lot of mood swings. A couple of months postpartum, she broke my handmade glass sculpture, which I had spent a couple of months working on as a birthday gift for my sister. My wife called my name many times as she needed help, but I was working on the engravings for the sculpture, and I was really concentrated on it. I was going to go to my wife in just a few minutes, but my wife got frustrated, and she barged into my room and threw the sculpture on the ground, and it broke. I was shocked, and my wife immediately apologized a lot, but I didn't want to stress her out too much, so I told her that it was alright and that I should have responded when she called my name. The next week, we went to the doctor, and my wife got prescribed meds for PPD. My wife's mood instantly shifted a lot after she started taking those meds. My wife did apologize constantly and felt very guilty about breaking the glass sculpture, and she even cried a few times, but I told her that it was alright and to let it go. It's been a year now, and while we are back to normal, I still hold a lot of resentment. I feel like a part of my love for my wife was gone when she broke the sculpture. I couldn't imagine anyone, let alone my wife, doing such a terrible thing. Am I the asshole here? In the comments, Paradox Gaming says, "Talk it out now. Resentment rots a relationship." I do glassworking as a serious hobbyist, first stained glass, and then kiln-formed work like bowls and votives. My wife is kinda klutzy and has ADHD. She's handled and broken, by accident, many of my pieces, though certainly not on purpose or in anger. I take the spilt milk attitude. We're all adults, it was a mistake, nothing intentional, just dumb luck. And while she's been mortified and won't handle any of my pieces now, out of penance, I have assured her not to feel bad and let's just move on. But over time, I too have harbored a certain degree of resentment. I don't see any intention, and so I feel a loss that I can't vent. I don't have an answer for OP, but I understand frustrated loss of creative work that is frustrating, but without legitimate blame. Quotes, "My wife called my name many times as she needed help. Something tells me this was not the first time this happened." Not excusing the wife's reaction, but working on a sculpture for a couple of months when their first child is a couple months old equals he started this massive and time-consuming project at exactly the time his child was born. Why did he think this was a good idea? Maybe make the present for his sister's next birthday, at a time when he isn't 50% responsible for keeping a tiny days/weeks-old human alive. I have a feeling the guys on here screaming about her entitlement haven't been the sole person caring for a days-old baby before. I didn't sleep for more than 15 consecutive minutes for 2 months because I had a jaundiced baby that took a long time to eat and a partner that had that level of devotion to the Xbox. Your hormones go wackadoo after having a baby, but with her reaction, it makes me wonder how much support she was getting. He was too busy with his pet project to attend his postpartum wife's multiple urgent pleas for assistance. Unfortunately, I have no doubt as to how much support she was getting. The way the post was written, actually, I was like, oh, what a witch. How dare she come in and destroy that sculpture? She understands how much work you put into your craft. God, she's a terrible person for that. But then, oh my God, he started it like when they just had the baby. You absolute asshole. You're neglecting your wife and child so that you can escape reality for a bit and focus on something that isn't your priorities. What a piece of shit. And then him coming to the internet for sympathy, being like, I kind of feel bad for neglecting my wife and child, but can you guys like back me up here? Am I an asshole for resenting those two assholes that should be my number one priority? Bro, you're asking for a divorce. Please, get your priorities in check. This is not healthy behavior. You are not a serious individual. And now, onto the update. So I read some of the comments and got some good suggestions. I realized I had to be honest and upfront with my wife. My wife and I just had a long talk where I finally told her about everything I was bottling up over the past year. I told my wife that I didn't blame her since she had PPD, But it was just hard not to feel resentful. Brother, people with PPD will kill their child, and you, spent so much time away from them that you couldn't even be watching her with her PPD. You have so much blame on your shoulders. I told her I understood why she was frustrated at that moment, and that I should have immediately responded when she called me, but I told her that I would have preferred if she just shouted at me, or even slapped me or something, rather than breaking that sculpture. That was just heartless and cruel. Brother needs to look in a mirror. He needs to look in a mirror so bad. My wife seemed very remorseful, and apologized a lot, and cried. She asked if there was anything that she could do to undo what she had done last year, and if there was any way that I could not have that resentment, since it really hurt her a lot. I had thought about this for the past couple of hours, and I realized there was only one way where I could completely let go of that resentment. And I told my wife that. I told my wife that I would be sewing a handmade memory quilt for my sister's birthday next year. No! You're a piece of shit! Therapies for pussies. Handmade memory quilt is where it's at. That's what's gonna fix this relationship. Me when I'm the least delusional person in the world? This would take almost a year, and I told my wife once I do finish and give my sister the gift, that is when all my resentment would probably go away. I can't believe this guy. This is so stupid. I'm crying from how much this has messed me up. My wife seemed grateful and asked if she could help. I told her not for this gift, but maybe in the future. The truth is, I don't really feel super comfortable trusting my wife with this, given how she destroyed my previous gift. It's psychological, and I'll most likely regain the trust once I finish sewing the quilt. I haven't told my wife about the trust issue, as I think it's just a me issue, not my wife's issue. In the comments, Archipelago Girl says, "You sound toxic AF. I'm not saying that it was okay that your wife broke the sculpture, but you've already made clear that 1. She was suffering from PPD, which is a very serious medical condition which affects judgment and impulse control. And 2, you were ignoring your newly postpartum wife while she called for your help because you were prioritizing an object over her when she was at one of the most vulnerable stages of her life. Your wife had apologized profusely for what she did, but you don't seem to have done any kind of proper soul-searching about the horrible way that you treated her at that time. And now, after secretly harboring resentment for her for a year, you've told her you still don't trust her and will continue to hold her mistake over her head for another full year while you undertake some giant symbolic purging of your negative emotions towards her. So your wife gets 2 years of punishment for an action that she performed while seriously ill, and which she has apologized for. Meanwhile, you get off scot-free for your neglect and emotional manipulation. I hope your poor wife uses this year to recognize that she deserves better than an emotionally abusive spouse who holds 2-year-long grudges and can't face up to his own failures. OP holds on to resentment for a year and finally talks to his wife about it, and now he's keeping secret that he doesn't trust her either. Oh, and he's working on a year-long quilt while his child will be a toddler and his wife will still help. This can only end well. Why is he doing long-winded projects for his sister, lol? It's not entirely weird to do these things, but they just had a baby, and he's choosing to spend time sewing, ignoring his wife and child, and blaming her for being mad after he ignored her multiple times when she needed help. Seems like gaslighting to me. Should she have broken it? Of course not. But something tells me he's not really present in all of this. OP, on taking too much time away from his wife and child to make a gift, says, "No, it doesn't take much time. I only work on it that day if I'm free, and it's usually only 20 to 30 minutes, and it never goes over an hour. And it isn't about punishing my wife, I just want to reciprocate because, over the past couple of years, my sister has given me really detailed handcrafted gifts. I usually never do handcrafted gifts, but it isn't right to just buy a gift off of Amazon for my sister's birthday after she spent months into making my gift." Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You have a newborn child and a PPD wife. That is such a cop-out, you absolute piece of shit. Yes, it is okay to buy a gift off Amazon. Stop it with the manipulation. Stop manipulating the internet, I hate you. It's overly involved arts and crafts that got us into this mess, and it's overly involved arts and crafts that will get us out of it, god damn it. That's the only solution to this problem. This is very much a therapy problem, not a make a quilt problem, but each to their own, I guess. But his resentment will go away after he finishes the quilts, probably, to be replaced by her resentment, and it'll just go back and forth until someone finally punts it into a lawyer's office. Quote, no, it doesn't take much time. I only work on it that day if I'm free, and it's usually only 20 to 30 minutes. It never goes over an hour. When I've had this problem, or it's been the reverse with a partner, it's not usually the time spent on the activity itself. It's usually more that they feel overwhelmed, such that they're not able to engage in their own usual leisure activities, and seeing the other person have time for them pulls that trigger on the pent-up frustration. Or feeling like this other third person is getting attention when you were desperately screaming for it. I've been both a victim and offender in this one. This is a really good point. When you're overwhelmed and feel like you have no time to be a human, seeing someone else get to relax, who should be helping, can be infuriating. Outside of having a young child, a good approach to this, for general people reading the comments, no one in particular, is 1. See if you've overloaded your own calendar first. This is my fault, I take on more than I can do. 2. If 1 is true, prioritize and accept that some things won't happen. It's not someone else's responsibility to fix your lack of time boundaries. And 3, if 1 isn't true, talk to your partner about uneven free time and how at the end of the day, you both need roughly equal time to chill. It's also really easy to miss your own free time, so be open to the idea that you chill more than you realize. I doom scroll, for instance. Good partners want you to be happy too. When I've been the offender, it was the doom scrolling. It was, extremely temporarily, soothing my severe mental health symptoms, so I wasn't counting it as leisure. It felt more like trying to keep my head above water, but in reality, it was making me feel like shit and my partner feel alone. And my takeaway from all of this is, let's all have better, healthier coping mechanisms and communication with each other, and actually listen to our partners and take them seriously, instead of taking on overly taxing hobbies that will take a year and then just saying that you're the asshole and not me in this situation. That's a good starting point, I think, guys. I think we can achieve that one here. I really want the wife to come onto Reddit and give us her side of the story, and then I want her to get the hell away from him. She better call Saul. I want to see the divorce written up. I want to see her getting majority ownership of that child, because he should not be anywhere near it. He is delusional to the max. I feel so bad for that kid. That kid is going to have such a troubled upbringing, and that just seems like a dumpster fire that is going to rage harder, but no one has any water to put it out because we don't know who these people are. We have no way to go and fix the situation or help them out, but hey, that's life sometimes, huh? Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this episode. I did laugh a little bit, but, laughing out of frustration, okay? Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.